And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. I was talking to Odie as we get our day going, all about coffee and good things like that. Some people love chocolate. We're more into that. And banana pudding after 7 o'clock. I hope your day is going well. 73 right now. 72, actually, it dropped a degree as we begin this. It's going to be downright hot. Let's talk about 96 for a high today. Heat index of 106 later with a chance of thunderstorms after 3 o'clock. We'll bump that up to a 50% chance is what we're looking at right now. So we could get some more wind like we had yesterday. Don't forget to join us at 7 as we'll go over local events. And yeah, did you hear about that yesterday? We got the pictures from the home that had a tree hit it. Whenever we do weather and there's high winds, if you're in a room that has a tree that overhangs a home, always get out of there. We got Mike's tree service. If you've got one that bothers you, you need to get that taken care of. Call Mike. He'll help you out in any kind of way that he can to keep that from falling on your home. Just always be prepared for that. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Today is Thursday, isn't it? Sure is. It's flying this week as we head toward the weekend. August is coming to an end. This weekend will be it, and we'll be into September next week. Sure hope it blows in some September cool weather. We will bring that up. I see 80s in the horizon. Can't guarantee how long they'll last, but I do see some. We'll do all of that. We'll get this day started now with a good word. Let's go to Collinsville.
You know, it doesn't take a breaking news headline on your favorite news station to learn that people can be so mean. They name call and mock.
Boy, I was given a great verse today because I get to talk about grandchildren. Listen to Proverbs 17:6, where it says, "Children's children are a crown to the aged, and parents are the pride of their children." Now, I'll just have to deal with the idea of being aged, but my wife and I are experiencing the blessed reality of that great verse. One writer I read says, this proverb pictures grandchildren gathered around an aged parent like a crowning diadem. Now, I won't try to parse all of that, but it's great imagery, right? Grandchildren are an example of one of God's greatest blessings in life. My wife and I love to communicate with our children. And we FaceTime with them, and sometimes they want to talk about their day or their week or what's going on. And sometimes we're just like, well, that's nice. Where's Jonathan or Samuel, or where's Nikki or Neely, or where's Bo? In other words, where are the crowns? What great imagery God gives us for one of His greatest blessings. Now, I don't know where we stand with the second part of that verse that says parents are the pride of their children. I hope that's true, but let me encourage you as a parent who has grown children. You tend to get a lot smarter as time goes on. As I grow older, before my parents passed, I would find myself bragging on them more and more when I would talk about them to others. As time goes, you realize the investment and the sacrifice parents make and what all that has done to contribute to you having a better life. If your parents are living, take the time to honor them and show them that they are indeed your pride. If God has blessed you, acknowledge the richness of that blessing. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I almost forgot it was Thursday there. We had to do a quick correction there. My apologies on that. Sunrise is coming up. I got a phone call a minute ago from Debbie that said, have you walked outside and looked? Next thing you know, Michelle Bynum sent me a picture. Have y'all looked at this outside? Look at this. Sun's coming up. Isn't that gorgeous? What was that song? This is the day that the Lord hath made. Boy, it's beautiful to be a part of it. Good, clean, crisp air. Enjoy yourself today. We've got your forecast right around the corner that we'll tell you all about in a few moments there. As we look at this, I'm not sure how you describe someone missing from here. It's in California. They wouldn't have any identification on them, Odie, because two elderly people are missing from a nudist camp. I'm not joking. How do you? Yeah.
Wasn't wearing nothing.
I'm letting Odie come up with a description for me to describe these two. Police are looking for them. They found her purse, her car, and on the nudist camp, I guess, area there. So if you happen to see two elderly people naked, this may be the missing people. Why do people want to do that? There was just a question there. But I know that those are all across the country. Oh, have mercy. We'll move on to another subject there. We had a flight diverted to Memphis due to some severe turbulence yesterday. It had to land. It was headed to Chicago. One person was taken to the hospital at least. Some others shook up. That turbulence is bad. If you've ever flown and been any, you're floating along and all of a sudden it starts doing that. Made an emergency landing, that one person there. No major injuries from what I'm understanding. Now this, sometimes you go to the police or you go to the post office and you go, something's weird going on, and you don't get the answers that you want. You finally go, well, I'm taking matters into my own hands. And a lady did that in California. Her mail kept getting stolen. So she went out, what do they call them, air tags that you can buy? She went and bought one, mailed it to herself, and lo and behold, it got stolen. Then she contacted police. They tracked it to the home. They found a man and a woman who had been stealing packages left and right from the area. They've been arrested. I mean, seriously, sometimes you have to do your own investigations. When it's not going the way, maybe the police department doesn't have time. They caught him. That's the good news on that story there. Let's see what else is happening this morning. We've heard of companies taking people on retreats for, what do they call them, team building, to where everybody gets together and they feel like you done something. Oh, it was 15 of them. Problem was, number 15 there, they get ready to come down the mountain, they leave him. He texted them and said, you left me, I need some help. Well, they didn't go back. He got caught in a storm, spent overnight in the freezing rain on top of a mountain, and I think their team building is, well, over. He got left and called authorities the next morning when his phone finally got a signal. Now, again, he had sent his coworkers 2 pin drops. Here I am. I need help. They done nothing. I'm not sure whether he's the bad employee or they were just bad people that he worked with. But they left him.
Well,
Team building.
14 to 1, you have to think.
14 to 1. Left him. We don't know if he was an annoying type person there or the guy that drank all the coffee and didn't refill it. But they left him. A team building weekend. Y'all think about that. Now let that sink in. Team building and leave the guy on the mountain. That's bad. That's bad. If you're in Massachusetts, now you'll be able to carry your switchblade. They've finally knocked down a statute that said you couldn't do that. So there you go. Feel free to do it. That really never came back from the 50s. That was like a 50s thing to where you hit the little button and it popped out and everybody jumped back. What was that big musical that done that? Was it Streetcar Named Desire?
Maybe that was it.
It was one of those. I've seen it several times. It was hot on a tin roof. What was that? What was that?
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about,
yeah.
don't you? Hot. Well, I'll never think of it. I'm not big on musicals, but I think y'all know the point that I'm getting into. Here's something to consider. Y'all know those little books that have the batteries in the back and they make noises for kids? A parent was in a car and the battery caught the car seat on fire. They got the child out, but it melted the car seat where the baby was playing with that. Something to put in the back of your mind. I'm not trying to cause a panic, but that did go on. Children's book, North Carolina is where that took place. Always scary that things can go awry. We see that a Washington, D.C. police officer has lost his life. This happened last night. This is the sad part, is he stumbled upon and saw a firearm lying in, the grates below where the water runs off the city. How it fell into a grate. He was attempting to retrieve it, and the gun went off and shot him. That's bad. That's just bad luck. The Supreme Court has refused to revive the Biden plan to pay off more student loan debt relief. Americans are fed up with paying for somebody else's mistakes, is what that really boils down to. You've heard me talk about it before. I won't go back into it again, but it's not right for average Joe to have to pay for Cousin It's debt that really didn't want to go to college and partied. And now he wants you to pay that off. We do see now, as we get a little bit more information, there hadn't been a lot released as the assassination attempt on President Trump happened, as they start releasing tidbits of information on this. The guy had also done a lot of research on the Republican National Convention and the Democrat National Convention. How scary is that? He'd done a lot more than is being told to Americans at this point. I was trying to think. We'll talk about that on the morning show here in a little bit. Do you all remember? His name is Robert Tellis. Las Vegas is where he was. He was, I believe, like a councilman for the city. There was a journalist that was investigating him. It was pretty serious stuff the guy had been doing, but the journalist was doing his job and reporting what the guy had done. He killed the journalist. Do y'all remember that when that went on? I do. He's been sentenced to life in prison now for stabbing the journalist to death because he wrote a story about him. Make fun of me wearing a bulletproof vest, will you? Appeals court has revived Sarah Palin's defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. We'll see what becomes of that. We'll keep a close eye on that. I hadn't heard much out of her lately. She's been kind of keeping low or lying low. Is that the word for it? There is an investigation in this, and I'm trying. Sometimes you don't understand crimes as we look at this. Colorado is where we go for our next headline this morning. A dog breeder was found deceased. Looked kind of normal at first. It is now being ruled a homicide. All the puppies are missing. Does it have something to do with that, or is that just a coincidence? We don't know. We'll keep a close eye on that. Here's something, and they say Taylor Swift has absolutely nothing to do with it. They're called Swifties for Kamala. It's a private group that they've started. They're Taylor Swift fans. They raised $120,000, well, actually $142,000 on a Zoom meeting the other night for a Democrat person running for office. Swifties for Kamala. Are you a part of that? Interesting. We'll be right back, and we'll get into your forecast next as we all try to wear a smile. And, well, today's going to be good. We'll find out more about it in just a moment here at the Scotty Ray Report.
Hey, this is Greg, and everybody knows I love to eat good food. So when you're out and about, come on down to Long's Fish Camp. Been here for over 50 years serving some of the South's best fried fish, hush puppies, shrimp, and hey, don't forget the coleslaw. Probably the best anywhere in the world. Excellent food, excellent service. Drive on down to Enterprise, Mississippi, and enjoy your food from Long's. Remember, at Long's, everybody's family.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we glance back at the year 2000, today was hot. 106, some 24 years ago. 1891, it was a cool day, 51. Yeah, that's a long time ago. As we glance across of what's happening today, hot weather. They even stamped it from the National Weather Service there. 96 meridian, we'll see that in Philadelphia, and reaching about 97 there in Columbus. Over to Greenwood, it gets warmer though, 99, following down to 91 in Natchez. Why cooler? Rain, as we look at the forecast here. Brookhaven, McGee, Laurel, Hattiesburg area will get more rain than Meridian area. Now, again, we'll have a 50% chance of rain moving in here after 3 o'clock. 50% chance of rain. Sometimes it can. As we glance at Bama, we'll see 95 today in Demopolis, 97 Selma, Birmingham 96, even Troy holding steady at 95 today on that forecast. As we look at the heat stress for tomorrow, it's going to be 105 to 110. Now again, today we're expecting 106, so we're in this category 2 already and under a heat advisory already for today. As we glance across, there's some cooler weather making its way out of central Texas. It'll eventually get to East Texas and make its way to Mississippi. As we see here, our 7-day forecast begins with today's high at 96. Tonight, down to about what it was when you woke up today, about 72. Now tomorrow, a tad cooler, 93 for the high, 70 tomorrow night. But we hold steady with that rain chance today of 50, tomorrow 50. Into the weekend Saturday, it looks like a 40% chance of showers. And then slight chances up until Tuesday when it jumps back to a 50 and 60% chance next Wednesday. Look at that, 86 next Wednesday. It'll get even better than that. Let's look at this, 82 come the 5th of September. And I see 80-degree weather the 6th. It warms up just a little bit to 87, but I'm not going to complain about that. Are you? Slight rain chances each day, and that will help keep those temperatures into the 80s in September. My, oh my, this month is getting away from us. We're already looking 2 weeks out at September the 12th. Don't forget Labor Day coming up this weekend. That'll sneak up on you. Our fishing forecast calls for the best time today to be right around 9:30 until 11:30, if you can fit that into your schedule. Your next major time will be after dark, about 10 o'clock. A minor time coming up this afternoon around 6 o'clock. Right there at 6 until about 8 at dark 30. Now, the wind's going to come calm, southeast, around 5 miles an hour this afternoon if you're planning on going fishing. What is happening here? Here's the latest that we got from the National Hurricane Center. 20% chance of this system off the coast of Africa developing and making its way at least toward the Gulf. It's in the Atlantic now. Only a 20% chance on that, and that's been holding steady the last day or so on that. It could jump up today, but it hadn't made any major moves lately. All right, let's go back over here and look at radar as we normally do, find out exactly what's happening out there. As we see this is the heat advisory. Look at this. All of that peach color, that means it's going to be extremely hot. That starts there just across, was that Delhi, Louisiana, there on I-20 back to Vicksburg. All of this central portion and east central Mississippi on up toward Iuka. Y'all are going to be involved in this. A little bit of Arkansas and Huntsville, Alabama under this heat advisory. Now, again, this is going to be going on today, as we'll look at this, until about 6 p.m. tonight as we look at that. And we might as well just pull this up and see it together. As you'll see there, heat index expected. See that highlighted? 106 for this area. Now, that includes if you're going to be standing anywhere around Philadelphia, over to Newton, back to Jackson, same thing. As we go back, we do have some strong fog this morning. If you're visiting Georgia there near Savannah, it's a lot of fog there. Look at that. Dublin, Georgia has it as well. As usual, Chattanooga has a little bit. Knoxville, Tennessee, Asheville, and those areas around Murfreesboro, again, having some dense fog advisories this morning. As we go to the Mississippi Delta, up around Water Valley, just due southwest of Oxford, Mississippi, a light shower. In Ripley, Mississippi, getting some rain there. Nothing serious, but just a shower to cool things off. We'll see a little bit here at the river. Look at that, St. Joseph's, right along in there. Around Waterproof, Louisiana, a shower or two. Making its way toward Mississippi. There around Fayette, Mississippi, just a slight shower. Be careful if you're there at Baton Rouge. I don't like to be near it when fog is around. It's just too many people trying to get somewhere. If y'all know what I mean by that. It's a heap of them. Steve, good morning. See, Mark is joining us. Mark Stewart also. Terry McWilliams. Iris is up. It's all happening here. We are minutes away from the morning show beginning at 7 o'clock. We've got a lot to talk about that has happened over the last 24 hours. Some good, some bad. And we'll tell you what the mayor said yesterday in an interview with another news outlet. We'll share that coming up this morning at 7. Whew. We'll see you bright and early. Join Scotty Ray Report. We'll fill you in on all the details.